My hands would not stop shaking as I stood in the kitchen of our $4,250,000 beach house, the waves from the Pacific crashing outside the glass doors. Victor, I can't keep this in anymore, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. When we started dating, I didn't love you. I only saw the money, the fancy dinners, the big house, the life without worrying about bills. I'm so sorry. He set down his glass of $120 red wine and stared at me for a second. Then he burst out laughing, slapping the granite counter that cost $9,800 to install. Oh, honey, you really think you're the smart one here? I knew the whole time. It all started back in September 2023. I was 25, scraping by as a receptionist at a real estate office in Los Angeles, pulling in $2,850 a month after taxes. My checking account never climbed above $312. Growing up in a tiny apartment that always smelled like damp carpet and takeout, with my single mom working nights as a nurse's aide, I knew what broke felt like. Ramen for dinner 4 times a week. I got average grades, tried community college for a semester, but dropped out when the tuition hit $1,200 and I couldn't swing it. Victor was 46 then, a big shot property developer. His company had built half the new condos downtown. One day he came in for a meeting, saw me, and asked for my number. I looked him up that night. His main house was listed at $4.25 million on Zillow before he bought it. When he invited me to a steakhouse where the ribeye was $78 and the wine started at $65 a glass, I said yes so fast my head spun. Those first months, I played the part perfectly. I listened to him drone on about land deals and zoning laws. I wore the tight dresses he liked, even if they pinched. He paid for everything. New phone, new wardrobe, even flew me to New York for a weekend where the hotel room had a view of Central Park. Not being broke felt like freedom. I ignored how he never asked about my dreams. I laughed at his jokes about lazy renters and nodded when he said poor people just did not try hard enough that we got engaged after 10 months. I said yes before he finished the question. The wedding on June 8th, 2024, was at his yacht club. Suddenly, I lived in a house with ocean views and heated floors that warmed my feet every morning. No more choosing between gas or groceries. For the first time, I could breathe easy. But Victor changed after the ring was on. He made me quit my job 2 weeks after the honeymoon. My wife does not answer phones for minimum wage, he said, handing me a black credit card with an $800 spending limit. Stick to shopping and looking good. The entitled stuff piled up. In August 2024, at his company barbecue, he pulled me aside when I mentioned my old job. Keep that trailer trash talk to yourself, he hissed. These clients do not need to know I picked you up from the bottom. Another time, in November, when I burned the toast, he slammed the plate down. My ex never screwed up simple things like this. Maybe you should take cooking classes instead of watching those trashy shows. When the electric bill hit $1,452 one month, he waved the paper in my face. Try not to run the AC so much, princess. Some of us actually work for this money. I started feeling the cracks, but then the pregnancy test came back positive in December 2025. Victor's face lit up when I showed him. He went to every doctor's appointment, asked a million questions about the due date in August. He even painted the nursery blue on weekends, saying it had to be a boy for the family line. I felt the guilt wash over me then. Those early days, I had been faking every smile. Now I love the way he rubbed my back when I was tired. I loved him, the real him, or so I thought. When the wallet is big enough, some men think they can buy loyalty forever. Last night, with the guilt choking me, I told him everything while we sat at the dinner table. The smell of garlic from the $45 takeout still in the air. That's when he dropped his bomb. I knew you were a gold digger from the start, he said. His voice flat now, no more laugh. I ran a background check. Knew your credit score was 620 and you had $4,000 in student loans you never paid off. But I did not care. I needed a young, healthy wife to have my kid. My father's trust fund, $14.8 million, only transfers to me if I have a legitimate child before 50. My ex could not get pregnant after years of trying. You were the fix. Young hips, good genes. I did not marry you for love. I married you for the air. My knees went weak. Sweat poured down my back, soaking my shirt. My heart hammered so loud it drowned out the ocean. I felt sick, the kind of sick where the room tilts and your mouth goes dry. This was the man I cried over, the one I thought saw me as more than my past. He saw me as a baby machine with a pretty face. The stress made my hands tremble like I had Parkinson's. I wanted to run, but my feet stayed planted. He kept talking, twisting the knife. Do not act surprised. You got the life you wanted. Fancy house, no bills. Now the kid's coming. You stay in line or you go back to nothing. I own the cars, the accounts, everything. Try to leave and you'll get zip. In this city, money hides a lot of ugly truths until you cannot ignore them anymore. I took a deep breath, feeling the baby move inside me like it knew something was wrong. Then I looked him dead in the eye. You got what you wanted, Victor. But so did I, starting today. I pulled out my phone and showed him the email from my lawyer, timestamped that morning. I met with her in February when the guilt started keeping me up at night. No prenup, remember? You said I was too dumb to ever challenge you. Well, California is a community property state. Half the house, half your company shares, half the trust once the baby is born and proven yours. The divorce papers are filed. You'll get served at the office tomorrow. The baby and I are done being your props. Enjoy explaining to your investors why your perfect family just fell apart and why you were suddenly a lot poorer. He sat there, face pale, mouth open, as I grabbed my purse and walked out the door into the cool night air. And just like that, the man who thought he bought a wife lost half his empire to the one person he thought he controlled.